Hey everyone, welcome back to another World of Warcraft Dragonflight Alpha video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the new talent tree for the Balanced Druid. This is the last Druid video that I have here, and we're going to get in and check it out. We're going to be looking at the talents, kind of seeing what's there, and working on creating a build that is going to work well in outdoor content. We're talking solo leveling, questing, world quest grinding, and all that kind of stuff. If you haven't seen my first Druid video, which was for the Guardian Druid, I'd encourage you to check that one out. I go into pretty good detail on the class side of the talent tree there, which I'm going to skip out on doing in this video just to save some time. We're mainly going to focus on the balance side of the tree here. Before we get started, I want to encourage you guys to like the video, leave comments and stuff, and let me know what you think about this series and whether or not you want to see more content from me after the alpha is done. As of right now, I'm just kind of making the videos that for stuff I would do anyway, and I'm using these videos as a judge to find out whether or not I should continue to make content once the expansion is actually out, you know, guides and all that stuff again. So please let me know. All right, with that being said, we are spec'd into balance here. Looks like we're going to get Starfire and Star Surge as our default abilities here before we put any talent points in. It's kind of interesting that we don't get Moonkin form, but you know, it is what it is. We're going to jump into our spell book. As we go through this stuff, I'm not going to be going real deep into each of the abilities. I'm going to assume you have some working knowledge of Balanced Druid, and mainly just going to touch on things that I need a refresher for, or things that look relatively new. So let's take a look at what we get before we put any talent points in anywhere. So we've got Bark Skin, we've got Dash, we've got Ferocious Bite for cat form, which should already be on there. It is. We've also got Mangle for bear form, which should be there. Got our Mark of the Wild, got Moonfire, Prowl, got our Regrowth, Shred for cat form. Okay. And then we also have Wrath. Alright, so Wrath, Moonfire, good. Alright, on the balance side of things, we do have access to Star Surge. And then we have our Mastery Total Eclipse. Solar Eclipse will increase nature damage, and Lunar Eclipse increases arcane damage. So, without any talent points in, we have a pretty sad rotation. We're basically going to Moonfire into Wrath, and then we'll cast Star Surge when we have enough astral power to cast it. So boring, but usable. Look at how long it takes us to get a Star Surge. There we go, we got one. I'm sure the talent tree is going to open that up for us though. So let's go ahead and get in. I think it's super important on Druid to kind of decide what you want to spec into as your main sub-spec early on. And I wanted to try to potentially do something a little weird with Balanced Druid. When I used to play Balanced Druid in the Burning Crusade, one thing I liked to do was form swap in order to kind of take up a position if something happened to a member of the group, right? And so we are looking at open world kind of solo stuff here, but I kind of want to see, like, can I sub-spec in two different sub-specs instead of just picking a primary one and make that work. So since we're already a damage dealing class, I don't really want to shift over to cat and do a different type of damage, but I want to see if I can get like a hybrid bear healer thing going on where I pick up just enough to be like kind of viable. If, like, say the tank goes down, I can switch to bear form and do some okay tanking. If the healer goes down, or if we're taking too much damage, I can switch over and do some supplemental heals or take over as the main healer. So we're going to check that out. And we're going to pick up Moonkin form. We're going to increase our magical damage and healing. We're going to grab Frenzied Regeneration for bear form. We're going to grab Thrash for bear form to give us an AoE. So as of right now, if we look at our bear, okay, our bear is going to have, we got our taunt. We've got our single target. We've got a multi-target. We've got our regen and our taunt. Like, this is okay. So hopefully we can supplement a couple extra skills in there for our bear. As far as popping out and going over to heals, right now I think we just have regrowth. Yeah, we only have regrowth. So let's go ahead and pick up Rejuve and Swiftman. So that's going to give us 2 skills that we can additionally expand our healing arsenal with. All right, and we want to keep going down and getting, we want to get to this middle section for sure, because this is where we kind of get to hybrid spec a little bit. But we can get there by starting from right here and getting Tiger Dash. Then we can go Soothe into Stampeding Roar, and that'll let us get into here, which is where we want to go. So we got 9 points left, so we can get Remove Corruption, which this is not really what I, like sub-spec wise, this shouldn't be something we're really doing unless we absolutely have to. That does lead us into Healing Done being increased, and it leads us into Wild Growth. So that's a total investment of 4 points to get Wild Growth, which does expand us to 3 different healing abilities we would have. Alternatively, we could pick up Swipe and Iron Fur for 2 points, and then get damage reduction for 4 points. That's actually probably okay. It's actually not bad. So I think maybe that is kind of what we want to do, right? So we'll get Swipe and we'll get Iron Fur. That'll really help us tank, right? And then we'll come down here and we'll get Wild Growth. We'll put 2 points into Thick Hide. And now we have 1 point. We can either put it into when you use Bark Skin or Survival Instincts, which we won't get Survival Instincts. So when we use Bark Skin, we absorb additional damage, or we can get Improved Bark Skin. But I think we want to make sure we get our Moonkin abilities here. So actually, let's roll this back a little bit. We've got increase the range of our abilities, and then we want to get Sunfire with the AoE. So that is really what we want to do. Okay, there. That does give us Iron Fur to use. Then we can gain Lycara's Teachings. So if we're in bear form, we get Versatility. Moonkin form, we get Master. No form, we get Haste. We can grab Renewal for a heal. And then we'll grab Heart of the Wild, so that will help us boost. So I think this is a way that we can basically primarily play as a Moonkin, right? For the most part, I think like these are the main things you want from the tree for Moonkin anyway. You could go down to like Nature's Vigil for some hybrid healing, but I feel like just picking up the extra skill there is worth it. And then we've kind of hybrid gone into where, you know, we have Thrash, Swipe, and Iron Fur, as well as Frenzy Regeneration for the bear. So let's take a look at this real quick. Let's see what we have. So we have Renewal, which we can use in all forms. We got Heart of the Wild to pump us up. We've got Sunfire, which we'll use as healer or as Moonkin. We got Swipe, which is going to be for bear form. We got Remove Corruption, and we have Wild Growth. So essentially, if we are in this form, then our main thing we're trying to do is heal. And so we're going to be doing that basically by just dropping hots on people. So we're going to be using Regrowth. I think I want Regrowth in 2 places here. We're going to be using Regrowth. We're going to be using our Rejuve. We're going to use Swiftman for a big bulk heal if we need it. And then we're also going to have Wild Growth. So we have 4 heals that we can cast on other people if we need to supplementarily heal. And we can also have our damage dealing little combo here, which is going to be this. Okay. If we go to bear form, then we're going to have our single target Mangle. We're going to have our Swipe, Thrash, Frenzied Regeneration, Taunt, and our Iron Fur. So we can do a little off-tanking too. And then Cat form we won't really be in, but So then it comes down to what are we doing in Moonkin form, right? And in Moonkin form, as of right now, we're doing our primary combos here. All right, so it's going to be something like that. And we're going to fill this out through the other side of the tree. So we're going to go through the tree here, and we're going to look at the active abilities we can get, which are going to be the ones in the boxes here. Then we're going to look at any choices we have, which are the boxes with the arrows. And then we'll look at the passives, the circle talents, as we kind of go through and actually do our build. We're going to start, though, by getting this very first talent, which we have to get, which is Eclipse. So this is what actually enables Eclipse for us and allows us to get the kind of back and forth between solar and lunar eclipse. All right, so we have Force of Nature. I like Force of Nature. It's a 1-minute cooldown. It summons some treants that taunt for you. It's a very handy ability to use on big pulls or on rare spawns or elites. We've got Warrior of Elune. So your next 3 Starfires, which is going to be this here, are Astral Power Generator that hits in a little AoE. Our Instant Cast and Generate increased Astral Power. We've got Starfall, which is our AoE. We've got Celestial Alignment. This maintains both eclipses and grants 20% or 10% haste for 20 seconds. We've got Solar Beam, so this summons a beam that silences the target. And that's it. So based on what I'm seeing here, I do like to pick up Force of Nature for sure. Starfall is okay. It depends on, how much you're prepared to aggro, because it does have a pretty big range. It's all enemies within 45 yards. Warrior of Elune and Celestial Alignment are kind of, whatever. Warrior of Elune's pretty good, 45-second cooldown. You could use that fairly often. Celestial Alignment, 3-minute cooldown. Not so great for open world content, but, it does link to this whole right side of the tree, so we might end up needing to pick it up. Solar Beam is whatever. So let's take a look at our choices. So here we've got a choice between Solar Eclipse being longer and Lunar being shorter versus Lunar being longer and Solar being shorter. So essentially, I think you want your Solar to be longer if you're focusing on your single target damage, and you want your Lunar to be longer if you are focused on AoE. Here we have a choice between Stellar Flare. So this is a 1.3 second cast that burns the target for initial damage and then burns them for more over 24 seconds. 24 seconds is a really long time for open world content. It's a little excessive, but it does give you another damage over time ability. Or we have Twin Moons. Moonfire deals increased damage and also hits another nearby enemy within 15 yards of the target. I do like this one. So we're going to use Moonfire all the time. We get more damage out of it. And we're more likely to want to cast Moonfire on 2 targets with 1 button press, as opposed to just getting an entirely new ability that we have to cast and that lasts for longer than we're usually going to be in combat with that enemy. Next, we've got a choice between Time-Worn Dreambinder, so Star Surge and Star Fall. Okay, so Star Surge and Star Fall. Reduce the cost of Star Surge and Starfall by 10% and increase their damage by 10% for 5 seconds, stacking up to 2 times. So we can get up to 20% reduced cost and increased damage. Or Star Surge has a 20% chance to make Starfall free, and Starfall has a 40% chance to make Star Surge free. It's a little back and forth free casts. Here we have a choice between Convoke the Spirits and our Super Moonkin. Here we've got every 300 astral power spent grants Celestial Alignment for 12 seconds, which is this here. Or Celestial Alignment now blasts all targets between you and the selected area for astral damage and applies Moonfire and Sunfire to them. That's kind of cool. I don't know if we can reduce the cooldown on this, but if we could and turn it into an AoE Moonfire Sunfire applicator, that'd be kind of cool. Here we have a choice between Fury of Elune, so this calls down a beam that does a bunch of astral damage to an enemy. It follows them and it deals damage in an area. And also generates astral power. I like this one. It's a nice 1 minute cooldown, so you could use it fairly often. Or we have New Moon. So this has 3 charges, 20-second recharge, generates astral power, and deals an okay amount of astral power, astral damage, and empowers New Moon to become Half Moon. So this essentially gets stronger and stronger as we go. Then we have Balance of All Things. Entering an eclipse will increase your critical strike chance with arcane or nature spells by 24%, decreasing over time. And then we have Adaptive Swarm. So there's a lot going on. I can't say that I'm pulled one direction or the other at the moment. I'm not super in love with Starfall or Celestial Alignment as abilities, so I don't really know which direction I want to go. So I think it's really going to come down to passives. I do know right now I do want to get Force of Nature, so we're going to go into Force of Nature here. We picked up Eclipse. Now reduce the cast time of effective spells by an additional 7%. So we can cast faster. That's always good. Moonfire and Sunfire duration is increased by 3 seconds. So we're getting 12 seconds and 16 seconds. We don't really need the increased duration for open world content. Usually most stuff we're fighting should be dead within 12 to 15 seconds. It does mean that it'll be on our secondary targets for longer, so it's not a terrible pickup. We have Nature's Balance. While in combat, we're going to generate astral power every 2 seconds, and while out, it's going to rebalance to 50 instead of depleting to empty. That's really good. So we're going to pick that up. We're going to pick up Moon Conform. While in Moon Conform, your single target attacks against you have a chance to make your next Starfire instant. That's really good. So we need to spend 1 more point, and it's going to be on either Starfall or Celestial Alignment, depending on what direction we want to go. So probably need to figure that out. Let's see what's going on down the middle. We have Solar Beam. We have Star Surge. Has a chance to summon the Spirit of Goldrin, which immediately deals arcane damage to the target. That's kind of cool. And then reduce the remaining cooldown on Solar Beam by 15 seconds when it interrupts the primary target. Okay. Continuing down the middle, we got Moonfire increases your arcane damage and Sunfire increases your nature damage to the target. Then we've got our choice between Convoke the Spirits or Incarnation, and then we have our talent point that's going to pump that up. So shifting out of Incarnation refunds some of the cooldown. And Convoke the Spirits has an increased chance to use an exceptional spell or ability. On the right-hand side, Moonfire and Sunfire damage has a chance to call down a falling star. Star Surge and Starfall grant you 2% haste, stacking up to 3 times. Eclipse damage bonus to Wrath and Starfire starts 20% stronger. Increased duration of Celestial Alignment. During the first 6 seconds of every eclipse, shooting stars fall 100% more often. Your damage over time effects deal their damage in less time, and your healing effects deal their healing in less time. And every 15th shooting star calls down a full moon upon its target. So, to me, this side over here seems pretty passive. Like, you don't have to do a lot extra here, right? You just dot things and then you watch them get hit by stuff. Which seems pretty good if you want to play that way. All right, so let's look at the other side. Star Surge further empowers the damage bonus of any active eclipse. Casting Starfall extends the duration of active Moonfires and Sunfires. Starfall deals 50% additional damage and allows you to cast while moving, while it's active, but now has a 12-second cooldown, which means you have 4 seconds of downtime in between casts. Okay, Star Surge and Starfall have a chance to empower Eclipse or extend Moonfire and Sunfire by double the amount. Eclipse increases Wrath's astral power generation and increases Starfire's area of effect. While in an eclipse, the cost of Star Surge and Starfall is reduced. I think I'm going to go build for the passive style. Alright, so we're going to go here, here, here. Eclipse's damage bonus to Wrath and Starfire starts stronger. Then we're going to put points in here. We got 3 points left. So let's grab Starfall. And then let's put points into Stellar Inspiration. Alright, from here we're going to go for Solstice. We want the faster damage over time stuff. I kind of wanted to get the 15th shooting star calls down a full moon. That seems fun. You know what? Let's try it. We're going to go for not yet implemented, but the Celestial Alignment blasting targets. No, we're going to go for every 300 astral power gives us Celestial Alignment. All right, and then we got 1 point left, so we'll put that into Twin Moons. Yeah, we'll go with this. All right, so we have CC with our interrupts here. We've got Celestial Alignment cooldown. We've got Starfall. Let's see, what else do we have? Pretty much it. We went for the super passive version of this. So we're going to have Force of Nature. And then the only thing that's going to be added, I think, to our balance bar is going to be Starfall. Oh, that's what we have. So Starfall. And they just added everything over here. So we do have Starfall as well to use over here for AoE if we need it. But now basically all we're going to do is dot up our target. So we're going to go dot dot. Then we're going to, since we are going to have Astral Power, we'll dump into Star Surge for single target or Starfall for multi-target. And then we'll basically start casting either Wrath or Starfire depending on the situation. So let's play this out like it's single target. All right. So we'll hit him with that. Hit him with Moonfire, Star Surge, right? And then single target, we're going to start casting Wrath. All right. When this glows, that means we have the appropriate eclipse, so we'll switch over to that for that. And then also we'll make sure to weave in our Star Surges. And then a target. After this, we're basically just going to cast until we get the next eclipse. Right? In between all this, we're going to make sure we keep our Sunfire and Moonfire going. Alright, so we're going to dump all of our Astral Power. And then we're going to keep casting Wrath until we get the next eclipse. I'm not doing this perfectly by any means, but that's the general gist of it. Right, keep your dots on. Dump your Astral Power with Star Surge or Starfall. And then go back and forth between Wrath and Starfire. So, I want to see the shooting stars. Oh, we have the dual moons. I should have been dumping. It's always weird doing this on a target dummy because really target dummies should be like treated like rare mobs. Because most of the time the stuff we're fighting is going to be dead like way before we would have to work out all these little silly nuances for the rotations. But yeah, so this is definitely one way we could build it, right? We could build it as more of just a passive style, like you're keeping the basic rotation, you're not adding a bunch of extra active abilities, you're not running around like crazy, you know, doing Star Surge, cast while move things. You're basically just doing your regular rotation, and in the process, you're going to get some increased haste, and you're going to get some passive damage from shooting stars and stuff like that. So I think this will work. We're going to take all the specializations out into open world content and play against some actual enemies in some future videos. So be sure to look forward to that. And we'll make adjustments and changes as we go. Obviously, this is probably not the best talent build, but it is, you know, what I came up with here on the fly, just looking at the talent trees for the first time. And I think it'll do just fine the way it is. But as always, we want to improve it and come up with cool stuff that's fun to play. So we'll look at that more in the future. I think that's going to do it for this video. So be sure to let me know via likes or comments whether or not you enjoyed it and whether you're enjoying the series. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one.